Ladies and gentlemen.
We just spent
45 minutes.
42 minutes.
Trying to get a mouse to work, a camera to work, video to work, his mic to work, his ass to work, his dick to work, and several other things. And guess what? Only the mic, the mouse, and the video works.
See, let me tell you something. Since you think you have so many options out here, you think you have so many options out here, and you can dictate the way that something happens. You know what? You fired. Becky, you fired. Everybody is fired. Don't come to work.
You weren't paying me no way. Shit.
Thank you, Baxter.
I was paying you with this dick.
Well, you damn sure wasn't
broken,
paying.
Apparently.
And you damn sure wasn't paying me because I don't accept your dick as payment. Thank you very much.
You cannot have it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what is the final episode of Black Law and Legalized. Final, as in finale, finito.
The end. Fin.
I got one more.
That's foreign. That's what they say at the end of foreign movies. Fin. Fin.
End.
Fin.
Yeah, all that. So it's been a great 4 years almost? No,
Damn.
shit, longer than 4 years.
Yes.
And we appreciate each and every one of y'all rocking with us and listening to us, giving us all the support that we so need and the validation that I needed because I have low self-esteem.
Wait,
and
you needed validation?
Yes, I have low self-esteem and I needed the validation of my peers.
Wait, the validation of your peers?
Of my peers,
okay.
yes, to help become a better version of me.
So when is that happening?
It's coming.
Please.
Soon. Okay. Very soon. Very soon.
I was wondering because
when is that
like how long
happening?
is this supposed to take? Man?
I know.
Like 4.25 years. That's all. That's
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Dan.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has been. Like I can't think of anything memorable. So
no, everything was memorable. I can remember the very first show that we did. Like the first year's worth of shows were like off the rails. We really just
Had fun.
everything, right? You know, we got serious around year 2, but year 1 was like crazy.
Wait, was that the sodomy year?
That
I
was
believe
yeah.
so.
That was the side. Man, look, we talked about all sorts of crazy stuff. Really.
So you learned something, and I have enjoyed being the entertainment and being a teacher here because we know I'm the only one that be dropping knowledge.
Edutainment. That I can remember it very early on. That's what we said that we wanted to do. We wanted to entertain while we educated, and hopefully we accomplished that goal. You know,
I have. I drop knowledge. I be dropping knowledge.
No. See, this is why you are something like a lawyer, because you were where the lies came from in the title Black Law and Legal Lies.
Nah.
Like almost 99% of the shit you said was false.
Wrong, because if you look at it, the usufruct of the situation is that, again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan. In case you forgot, you can keep up with me on Twitter and IG at I am Dan on drugs, where I'll still be. Keep up with the show. Don't bother. Fuck it.
Wow. And I'm just Dan, and you can follow me at I Tell Legalize on Twitter. And once again, it's still active. I'm out there. Y'all could still talk to us. We just won't be talking to you via voice and video.
And this is Afro Becky. And you don't follow me because I don't want to be followed.
Because that right there is a crime. Stalking is illegal.
How about something we won't be talking to them on video? Look, my OnlyFans, right?
Oh,
see,
Jesus.
I done got slim and sexy, and I'm about to start my OnlyFans where me and Becky gonna be doing nasty shit on camera for the low price of $4.99 a month, and we do take requests.
$4.99,
and you can't pay me. No,
$499
no,
or $4.99
a month.
So you get what you pay for. If you're paying $4.99 for some nasty shit, trust me.
That's the base. That's the base. See, special requests go up. Like if you be like, hey, we want you to put it here. All right, well, just pay me $20 extra. Becky don't get a cut of it though.
Yeah, because Becky said she wasn't getting nothing out of the deal.
Nothing. So as part of our farewell show, we didn't want to leave you hanging. I've gotten some DMs asking about what's going on with the show. And to be perfectly honest, life is going on with the show. We've been through COVID. We've been through
Hurricane Ida.
That was a big situation. 2020 and 2021 has disrupted the lives of
everybody.
Everyone I know, at least.
Everybody I know too.
So with that being said, scheduling conflicts, we're just unable to remain consistent. So rather than being inconsistent,
and piecemeal and give you something shitty,
it's just like it is what it is. But in keeping with the farewell, today's topic, farewell, right? So I'm out here hustling, right? I'm living large. I own a house. I own my car. I own all kinds of shit, right? I get locked up. Boom. I go to jail. My bond is like, say, $2 million.
Damn, what'd you do?
I know.
20,
really.
Because let me tell you something.
25 kilos.
$2 million, damn, son.
25 kilos.
Nah, you kill somebody.
2
million.
I mean, maybe beside the 25 kilos, there's a body, right?
Shit.
So I go to jail. I can't get bonded out. I can't pay my mortgage because...
Bruh, for real, you can't get bonded. Yeah, you did some serious shit if they ain't bonding you.
I did do some serious shit.
I'm saying...
I'm just not admitting to what I may have done.
I'm saying $2 million and you like... You moving weight like 25 kilos and nobody can't get you out? That you ain't got a bug out bag and a secret stash?
They ain't want me out because they trying to take over my block. They trying to take over my block and my stash houses. Omar coming. Man, rest in peace to Omar too, man. Michael K. Williams, man. So many people we done lost. But anyway, so I get locked up. I can't come home. I can't get bonded out. I can't pay my mortgage. None of this shit's on auto pay. And the reason I brought this up is because I've witnessed something like this happen, but not on a lengthy scale. It was more of a couple of months. But so what happens to all my shit? What happens to my house, my belongings, my car?
The same thing that happened. So wait, because I was about to say same thing that would happen to anybody else who would not pay their mortgage and their car notes X, Y, and Z. But if you are moving weight, like you say you were moving weight, and the man got you, 9 times out of 10, they are confiscating most of your belongings because they go RICO that shit. Because basically, you know, the federal government, RICO is really a catch. Back in the day, RICO actually meant something. Now
it still does.
No, well, now it means it is basically a catch-all for me to seize your property. Because all I have to say is that you purchased this property by way of an illegal means or of an illegal enterprise, and or you used it in the commission thereof. And it's like, let me get it. And then you know what happens to property that the government seizes via RICO?
Let me take a guess here. First, depending on what it is, some of it they keep for themselves. So cars, for instance, like my BMW, they're going to keep that for themselves, and then they'll use it in either other municipalities, police departments as undercover cars, because who looks better in a BMW than a drug dealer, right? Guns, yeah, we keeping those too. And then other shit we auctioning off. So art, your furniture, your personal belongings inside your house, we're just going to auction that shit off. Keep
pretty much. And do you know you too can own Pablo's Picasso? Because you as a private citizen can actually be involved in these auctions. The government like every month the government auctions houses and boats and cars and jewelry and art. And
would you want? Think about that. Would you want that? Because I used to want to go to these car auctions and buy cheap cars that was fly as shit. But you just bought Ray Ray, who was the drug dealer.
I want Ray Ray car.
Well, Ray, that's your car? And so you driving down the street and people probably like, oh shit, to go Ray right there. Let's light them up.
Let's get them.
And boom.
No, but I don't think they actually auction them in the same places that they actually seize them. I don't, and so yeah, I don't, that would not be wise. But
well, the houses, you can't move the houses.
Correct. But houses, yeah. Like, but most of the time you think about it, people know Ray locked up. They know Ray ain't living in his house no more.
They might think Ray's auntie lived there. Ray mama lived there. Look, and we want to get at Ray mama.
But people buying these houses, these houses that are auctioned off, they buy all the time.
Man, all right. So let's say it wasn't drugs. Let's say it was a murder. I got mad at my co-worker for parking in my parking spot. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I got a bad temper, y'all. Mm-hmm. And I killed my co-worker, which y'all about to fix that shit too in that back alley parking lot too. But we're going to say that for another time.
Well, this is it. So.
Well, you never know. No, we might be like psych. We might come back.
And do a movie.
Like, yeah.
Man, have you seen it yet?
I have not. Don't tell me. Let me tell you what I did. I went back. I had to go look at 1 and 2 in order to get to 3. I had to do it.
2 sucked.
Well, Lassie Come Home was kind of, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad.
They had to rewrite it around
him being his stroke, right? I get it, but
no, well, I mean, we're going to save that for off the mic, the way these motherfuckers be parking and shit in the back alley. Because I was the first one to do it. I was the originator. I was the innovator. I was.
Really?
So, all right, someone parks in my parking spot at work, and I decide I want to kill him. Mm-hmm. So, bang, bang, shot him dead. Then I go sit at my desk, put my gun on my desk, and fold my arms like this, and just wait.
Yeah, you waiting for the cops to come.
Well, my job probably wouldn't even call the cops. They probably just be like, man, that nigga crazy.
You waiting for the cops to come. And
right, I get arrested, same situation. I got a house, I got a car.
Exactly. Well, see, in that particular situation, so is your house paid for?
No, I'm still paying for it.
Is your car paid for?
Still paying for it.
All right, so basically what happens is they would, like, your family would try to maintain your property. I mean, the government can't seize your property if...
Oh, wait. And that's one thing I wanted to kind of throw in there. I don't have family. I don't have anybody to look after my affairs.
So you have absolutely no one that can do anything.
No one, because I've been disowned because of my illegal activities of killing my co-worker.
Interesting.
Or like in my current situation now, if something happens to Becky, something happens to my mama, and then something happens to me later on down the line, I don't have anybody to look after my affairs.
Why not? I mean, I help you out. I don't like you.
Man, you going to sell my house for $2.
I mean, I don't like you that much, but, you know, I come through a little bit.
You going to sell my house for $2, and I'm going to still owe $389,000 on it.
So what happens in that particular case, what I've actually seen people do, they can get like their lawyer. You know, you give your lawyer power of attorney. You know, you give somebody power of attorney, and they will continue to do all this stuff for you. Somebody that you know, somebody that you trust, and they can handle that for you. The downside of that is if you're not working and you have no money to pay for these things, then all that stuff getting repossessed. Everything's going back. Like your house is going to get foreclosed on. Your car is going to get repossessed. Anything else that you have, it's like gone.
Well, now the situation that I saw happened to somebody that is very close to me and dear to me. They got arrested, okay? They were on parole. They got arrested. It was false allegation of, like, let's say domestic abuse or something like that, right?
Okay.
got arrested because he was on parole and was accused. And
sent him to jail.
And the accuser's father was like head of police. So he went straight to jail. Do not pass go.
Correct.
Mind you, again, he's on parole. He was working these low-wage jobs. He had a job, low-wage job, but he was sitting in county jail for a month until his trial date or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
During this time, everything he had worked hard for, because I'm talking about he came from a halfway house to staying with somebody to getting his own shit, gone. His apartment, gone. His car, gone. Then at the end of the day, the chick came out and said
it was false.
I was just mad at him.
And they let him go.
And then they I guess I can't call it slander, but or libel. That shit was all in the newspapers because small town. All in the newspapers. So-and-so, let's just call him, I was about to say his real name. Let's call him Don.
So did he try to sue the girl?
He did not.
Why not?
You know our people, son. I mean, that whole you can sue anybody for anything, anytime, one thing, but then you need means. You need to know how. You need to know where to start.
You said he was locked up in county and all his money went bye-bye.
So anyway, he ends up getting out after she admitted that she made up the story because she was mad at him. Tried to go back to his job. Like, nah, son, we don't even want nothing to do with you. And what's fucked up is it didn't affect his job. It's just, they're like, yo.
No, it's the appearance. Mm-hmm.
So, again, lost everything. Now, he has since rebuilt his life again, but that shit was fucked up. So, it had me thinking, if I go to jail, I lose my source of income because I'm working man, killed my coworker. Don't have anyone to pay my rent, pay my mortgage, pay my car notes.
It's literally gone. I mean, there is no provision in the law for you to have an advocate to save your life while you are awaiting trial.
I'm innocent until proven guilty. I'm innocent. So y'all took an innocent man's livelihood and his entire life.
Right. You are innocent until proven guilty. But let me repeat. There is no provision in the law that would appoint an advocate to help maintain your life for you until you're either proven guilty or let go.
Should there be?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because if I am innocent, like let's just say the story I just told, if I am innocent, false allegations, unfounded claims, these diabolical damstresses. Like,
so who pays for it?
In that case, I think she should have, but
or it could be maybe you should have picked better friends to begin with.
Now you sound like a goddamn Republican.
Wow. So angry.
That's
he
some
does
shit.
Have anger issues.
I do, because I killed my coworker. No, that's some shit that some 50-year-old white lady would say.
No, that's not. That's actually something that a prudent person, Becky's right. Choose better. See, you know what? I remember an episode where we were talking about child support and things of that nature. And I believe...
Oh, that was our viral clip.
And I believe what I said was you should not have sex with anybody that you wouldn't want to have a baby with. This is sort of like the same situation. You don't want to be in a relationship with anybody that you can't see yourself marrying. You don't want to remain in a relationship. Like, once somebody show you who you are, who they are, you don't want to remain in a relationship with that person.
That you can't see yourself marrying, huh?
Correct. Why are you looking at me? Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, y'all, why he's looking at me. It's because I have been in the same relationship for 16 years, and have not married this person in spite of the fact.
Relationships.
No, relationship.
Man, we putting all your business out here today. Last episode.
With a P.
All your
with
business.
One person for the last 16 years. And in spite of the fact that this person has asked me to marry him several times, I have refused to do so. Now, I believe what I said was you shouldn't be in a relationship with a person that you can't see yourself marrying. I can see myself marrying him, but I do not want to marry him. If I was into marriage, I would marry him in a heartbeat. If I believe that marriage was the way that I should go, I would marry him in a heartbeat. He is the kind of man that you want to marry.
I don't want to fucking marry
you know
him, man.
For sure. But as a woman, he is definitely the kind of man that I would want to marry because he is a hard worker. He's handsome. He's smart. He's kind. He's thoughtful.
America. Listen to this, some of my bitch. Look here, America. I'm gonna tell you like this.
What?
Everything he is, he a good dude. Shout out. That's my boy. He a good dude. But everything that she is claiming him to be is what she's created. She has beaten this poor man in I
created that?
Man, he used to be somebody.
Wait, he is still somebody.
He used to be somebody, man.
Somebody.
Like all the little kids in the neighborhood used to look up to him, be like, man, I just want to be like him when I grow up. And now they just be looking at him like, damn.
Wait, he's a beaten man?
Damn, bro.
But no, so like Becky said, my grandmother always used to say birds of a feather flock together. She also, old people had all these sayings. She also said...
None of them fucking made sense.
They did. Birds of a feather flock together. That definitely makes sense. She also said, I can tell who you are by who your friends are. That's definitely sensible.
That is. Now,
you know what I'm
make
saying?
sense of this one. I remember when you was knee high to a puppy's ass. How big is this fucking puppy? What kind of puppy we talking about? A Chihuahua? We talking about a Great Dane?
Stupid. Anyway.
Man, old black people got some funny ass sayings. And that shit, man, just the simple shit is, I'll give you something to cry about. Motherfucker, I'm already crying. What?
No, because basically that makes sense, because what they're saying is you shouldn't be crying by what I just did, but I can give you the whipping that would make you cry to fit the way that you are crying. Because, we acted. Because let me tell you, I acted, anytime that I got a whipping, I acted more hurt than I was, because I felt like,
stop.
Look,
Manipulation.
If they think, exactly. So they knew, which is why they said, I'm going to give you something to cry about.
See, you could just be sitting there, your damn dog just died, you're sad that Fluffy done died, crying. What you over there crying for, boy? I'll give you something to cry about. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, man, I'm telling you, my family was abusive. I don't know.
Man, look, I used to, but you know what? We look at stuff as abusive, and it's crazy. A lot of it, you are very right. If we had to go back, CPS would definitely do some shit
damn straight
to our parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles.
We briefly discussed it on here, but I can admit to have being beaten with objects that no human should be beat with unless it's like a bar fight.
Phone cords.
You remember back in the day when 6-packs of sodas used to come in glass bottles? Mm-hmm. My mama launched one of them at my head, and luckily I crashed on the wall, shattered. Mm-hmm. I got on the phone, called my grandma. Grandma, my mama just threw a glass Coke bottle at me. First thing my grandma said, well, what you do? What
exactly.
the fuck does it matter?
Exactly. It didn't matter. Let me tell you, anything that they had handy. Because I can remember my grandmother was in the kitchen, and we were running through the house, and Rule number 1.
No running.
Ain't no running in the house.
Don't run through the house.
And don't sit on the good furniture.
Exactly. And so we were running through the house. And not only were we running through the house, we ran through the kitchen. And you know, when black women in the kitchen, don't come in there. But we ran through the kitchen, and I ain't gonna tell y'all, like, she threw a knife. They had a fork that flew at us. Like, anything that she, within arm's reach, you know, she threw a coffee mug. It was like, took her slip off, threw that at you. Like, anything that they, exactly, anything that they could get within reaching distance, they would throw at you. Not even thinking, oh, I could seriously injure this person doing that. They ain't give a damn.
Oh, shit. No, to make it even worse is if they seriously injured you, they gave you the story that your ass was going to tell when you in the hospital.
Right. That's right.
Becky, you ever experienced anything like that?
No.
Closest thing was I had to go get my switch off the tree.
Really?
Oh, shit. Okay, well, no, keep going. So you went and got your switch off the tree, and then what?
Then they were too tired to actually punish me by the time I surfaced again with the switch.
I wish I would slow walk to go get a switch.
Shit. Woo. Shit, you go get it worse then. You go get it worse then.
Wait, so what was your thought process on your way to pick your switch? Like, what was going through your head, if you can recall?
Don't pick nothing small.
Well, that at first that was it, because I knew that, you know, if I did pick something small, I'd be back out there picking another one and probably getting hit worse. So I just slowly picked what looked like I could stand.
I'm gonna tell you the secret to picking your own switch, even though people don't do this these days. However, the secret is to find the biggest switch you can find that is dried out and dead. Because when it, the shit,
it's gonna break. And then, because the small young ones, that's the ones that tear your ass up.
So where do we think this came from? Because I've heard different theories. Some people say it actually goes back to slavery, which is how black people were kept in line, and then we looked at it as, okay, well, this is how you keep others in line. Right. And it just got passed down from slavery.
The whole switch thing?
No, just corporal punishment in general. Because, I mean, white people also beat their kids, but like I don't think to the extent that black kids got beat.
Like us. I don't. You know what? I've never really thought about it, but what you say makes sense. It does, but I've never really thought about the origins of why your mom and dad and your grandmama and your aunties and uncles and them beat your ass like you stole something, as the saying goes. Really, that actually would be something that we would need to explore. I like that topic.
So, do you think that in the however old you were when you got your ass beat, do you think a simple talking to or a timeout or taking something away from you, like, I mean, Xbox, so even though you probably didn't have one, do you think that would have been more effective, as effective, or less effective than getting your ass beat?
Thing is, the type of things that I used to get beat for, all you had to do was tell me stop. Or, so let me tell you the type of things that I got beat for. Well, the major time when I almost burnt the house down, I understood why I got my ass.
I should have just beat your ass because you almost burned down my house.
You know, I understood that one. But, you know, I used to get hit at least 3 times a week. And it was always revolving around me lying, right? Because I always had a story. Because I was always getting in the shit. And I can admit it. I admitted it then.
You know, kids be having stupid ass lies too that they think make perfect sense.
Perfect sense. Exactly. So but see, unlike the common kid, I always had a strategy, right? I always before going into a situation, I had a plan if the situation went wrong and if I had to come up. I always had my backstory. I always had a story. Now, the problem would come in is that, which is why these days I always say, if I'm doing something, I'm going to do it by myself because the only person that can tell on me is me. I used to always bring other people into my schemes. And the scheme went bad. When you have more than one person involved, more than one parable. You have more than one person, 2 or 3 people, something is bound to go wrong because in spite of the fact that you're trying to tell them what to do and how to do it, children stupid. They forget. They improvise.
Shit, adults do the same shit.
You know what I'm saying? So even though I had a backstory, just trying to keep them consistent. And because they knew who the mastermind always was, I was the one taking the heat. And so I ain't gonna tell the truth. Yeah, I'm gonna lie about it. So the lie will get you in more trouble. So yeah, and then I always had a quick comeback. That's something else. My mouth is the thing that got me into trouble as a child. Teachers used to always tell my parents, she's a great student, because I was a straight A student. Couldn't say jack about, I did homework, I did extra credit, I did everything. Ace in everything, left and right. Great student, we love her to death, but her mouth. That used to be the thing that they used to say. So my mouth has got me into trouble from the time that I could actually speak until now. But
wait, so that's something that your parents could have been like, stop, and you would have stopped lying?
Probably not.
I was about to say, because you lying if you say yeah.
Right. Probably not, because like I said, I always had a story and a backup plan. And that's the story of my life. I mean, I'm a lawyer. I always got a story and a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, my shit was basically, I got the things that I hated the most is getting beat, getting whoopings for things that I was doing that I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do. That's the shit that hurt the most, because before punishing me physically, let me know I'm not supposed to do this.
Right. Give me a warning.
And then it's you should know better.
How am I know better when nobody told me?
Exactly.
Right.
But my shit was, as far as the consistent ass whoopings I used to get, was tell me not to do something. And that just like you said, your mouth from then to now, that's me from then to now. Tell me not to do something.
And I'm going to do it.
Watch me do it.
Correct. But you know what? Let me tell you. What you just said about not knowing that what you were doing was wrong. Think about the law. You don't have to know that you're doing the wrong thing.
Ignorance is not a defense.
Correct. So, sir, ignorance was not a defense.
This shit, I was sitting on the bus with my mama. This one just popped to mind because I've been beaten so many times, which I find unacceptable. But I was sitting on the bus with my mama, and we were talking about something at school, and I look out the window and I said, "What the hell?" in front of everybody on the bus. And now I'm like,
what I do?
And everybody on the bus is
started laughing.
Like, what I do?
Wait, you didn't know hell wasn't a word that shouldn't come out your mouth?
No.
How old were you?
Probably like 5.
Dude, for real?
Oh, come on.
For real.
I don't
and you
remember.
did not know that hell was not a word you should have been using.
I knew that basically the George Carlin skit, shit, fuck, damn, pussy, cock, like all that. Hell, no. I did not know. I learned that day, and she could have just easily said, don't say again. Yeah.
Nah, see, reaction. It's reactionary, because think about grandmas, think about aunties, think about uncles. Man, mamas, hear you say a word that you should not say. That ain't no
It's a
I don't want to hear you say it is a reflex. Bam, right in your mouth. No. And I can't believe at 5 years old you did not know.
I don't know how old I was, but I do know that at the time I did not know that I couldn't say hell. Shit, after that I was scared to say heck. I was scared to say hello. Anything that started with an H.
Well, let me tell you, you know, going back to that don't even say anything that sounds like it. You remember she, because it sounded too much like shit. Like, I got in trouble doing that, but knew that I was doing it because my grandmother used to tell us all the time, like, don't get smart, don't say this, don't say that. And I can remember distinctly one day I was like, boy. And my mom was like, poop, right in the mouth. And I was like, what? And in my head, as I was saying what, I knew exactly why she was like, you, and she even told me, she was like, you know why.
So you tried to gaslight her. You tried to gaslight
like
her.
I said, I always had, look, my mouth always got me in trouble.
Man, that shit was, I'm going to say, again, traumatizing. And a lot of people will argue, like, just to take it to an extreme is, Joe Jackson, he beat Michael Jackson ass into superstardom. Well, I'm pretty sure there's some niggas in prison that got their asses beat too.
But then, you know, he also beat Michael Jackson into
crazy
reclusiveness, into where is my childhood and have you seen it and let me do things that I couldn't do as a child now.
Drug addict.
Yeah,
what,
you know,
Neverland? I mean, come on.
Correct. So, I mean, the thing is, I don't believe that corporal punishment used correctly is damaging, but the way that it happened with us, that I don't think was correct.
Yeah, I think it's part of a treatment plan. Let's call it
right.
A disciplinary treatment plan.
Correct.
So you explain what the rules are. You give them the consequences of what the rules you know, of if they break the rules. Mm-hmm. You give them a warning, and then if they continue to do it, then you exact punishment. And then after the punishment, you reinforce it, or you just kind of reinforce, okay, this was the rule. This is why I did this.
Correct.
I told you this is what would happen. It happened. Now you should understand by now.
This is the consequence.
This is the consequence.
Is now, it has to escalate to this. But you know what you just said, Becky? That basically goes back to there are no parenting classes. You know, there are no instructions on how to parent. And what our parents did was basically parent the way that they saw their parents parent.
Or the complete opposite.
Right.
Because I don't want to be like my
parents.
Yeah.
Right. True. So, and that's where I know for a fact that the way my parents parented me, that definitely stemmed from the way that they were parented. You know, my grandmother, she had something called a bullwhip. And it was a piece of, and I think I've mentioned this on the show before. It was a piece of 2 by 1, because it was a skinny board. And she MacGyvered this piece of leather belt. And, you know, back in the day, leather belts that we have today are nothing like the leather belts that they had.
They're all polyurethane now.
You know, the leather belts, you know, the ones that they used to use to sharpen razors, the thick
barbers,
They had like the leather, the texture and shit on the back.
Correct.
Yeah.
So she had like about a 12-inch piece of that duct tape.
I got a 12-inch piece too.
Of tape. That's about the only thing 12 inches you have, baby. Anyway, So she had that duct tape to this 2x1, and that's what she used to hit us with. So it's like it literally looked like a whip.
You had the long range, long reach Indiana Jones.
Let me tell you. All it takes is one time getting hit by that shit. And I got hit by that thing one time, and that was enough for me to know that I never wanted to get hit by this thing again.
That shit is just too much, and it's too damaging, because I can tell you the results of all of my ass whoopings for the most part was not to correct the behavior. It was, and I was just talking to shout to Stephanie, the life architect, just made mention of this on one of her posts. Is it taught me, I think the point she was making was between punishment and discipline, and how there's a difference between the two. How she was punished, and I agreed. I was like, I was punished too.
Right.
And rather than being disciplined after that or correcting my behavior, it taught me to better get away with it.
Get sneakier.
And if in the event that I get caught doing something, I knew what the punishment was, so then I could weigh, okay, is this worth this? And most of the time, the ass whoopings, they were kind of light, so it's like,
may as well do it.
Yeah.
Well, you see, and you know what, if you think about that, and we actually liken that to criminal minds. Think about it. The penal system is supposed to punish, but you go into jail and you come out a better criminal because you're not being rehabilitated at all. So what you just talked about is basically what our childhood was like. And you're right. It wasn't about discipline. It was about punishment. And for the most part, you know what I've come to realize over the years, because, I've thought about that a lot after I got to the point where my parents no longer deemed it necessary to actually hit me, because I was a teenager. So it was like, they weren't going to hit me anymore. It was more about their frustration, their anger, than it was about actual discipline. That's why she said there's a difference between penalizing somebody and disciplining them. We felt the brunt of our parents' frustration and anger.
That is true. And I've heard some people also talk about how the people who do believe in corporal punishment, how they won't actually beat their children while they're angry.
Correct.
They'll wait until woosah and then go beat that ass. But I just think it's ineffective, and it's traumatizing, because you still carry that shit into adulthood. Because there's times when, right now as an adult, I will still throw a fucking rock and hide my hand, knowing that the person I'm throwing the rock at ain't shit you can do to me.
Right.
You can't beat my ass. You can't, you can't affect me in it. But it's still
depends on who you throwing it at. Because some jokers out here, they might have guns. So
and who don't? You think they stopped making guns when they got theirs?
No, but they could pull it out on you if they suspect you of throwing rocks.
But see, you say that, but corporal punishment is effective if used correctly. Like Becky said, as part of an escalation, because I am going to talk to you. I don't have kids, but there are enough kids in my life that I have been able to parent a lot of children. And for the most part, I do not, when they require discipline, I don't hit them, because I'm actually kind of too soft to hit them, unless, and I say unless, it's like Becky said, it's an escalation. I will tell you, I will speak to you, especially if you're of the age where you can understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to break it down to you in a manner so that you can understand exactly. Like, there's no wiggle room. You can't look at it or, listen to what I'm saying and think, well, I don't understand what that means. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to tell you exactly what I expect. If you go off script, this is what's going to happen. And I will tell you that too. But sometimes you have to deploy what I call shock and awe, because I'm the type of person, I'm the fun one. They know, I'm not going to be the one screaming at them. I'm not going to be the one tapping their bottoms and doing whatever. And, but they know what to expect of me. So when you do something egregious, it has to be like totally 1000% something that you knew that you should never have done, but thought you can get away with it. I find out about it. That's the only time that I deploy what I call the nuclear option. And that is actually taking hand, to somebody, because I do not believe in hitting. I don't believe in violence, even though Dan would tell you differently. I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence. I believe in talking. I talk my way out of all sorts of things. So, like I said, my mouth.
Back in the day, though, you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to, let's just say, parent other people's kids. Nowadays, shit, you can't even do that. But whether it be talking to them, and I'm not talking about kids that are close to the family. I'm
right.
talking about just kids in the street. You see kids doing bad shit, and or teachers. Like back in the day, now it's like you got parents coming up to the school taking their kids' word over the actual teacher.
That's right.
And trying to fight. It's like everything.
No, but you're right. Back in the day, but that's because everybody knew everybody on the block. Because remember, back in the day, your block was your family.
Shit, even if you didn't know who somebody on the block, you still getting disciplined.
Oh yeah, because in our block, in our 3 blocks in our neighborhood, if the older people saw you doing some mess, they would discipline you. And I'm not just talking about speaking to you. They had carte blanche. They could spank you. Your mom and your dad gave them permission. Basically, if you see them out in the streets doing something that you know that we would not approve of and you feel it necessary, yes, you can discipline them. And it happened to me quite frequently. I would like get talked to by the lady on the block at the end of the block. And by the time I made it home, and sometimes I would get spanked. And by the time I made it home, I'm going to get it again, because she would have called my mama, and said, and did, and that was another punishment. So, but you're right. These days, if you speak to somebody's child and the mama sees them doing the wrong thing and you tell them
you in the wrong,
then it's a fight with the mama. So, yeah.
Man, society is fucked up.
And then there's no more grocery store spankings. CPS be there right quick.
Oh, man, I saw, what was it? No, we were maybe 2 weeks ago, they had a marathon of What Would You Do on. They had black woman, black son, they're actors, of course. Black son had the, what do you call it? The board you wear over both sides that says, "My mom's making me stand out here," and da-da-da. So
the sandwich board.
Yeah. So he had a thing. He had to get signatures on there. So white lady walks up and was like, "I disagree," talking to the mother. "I disagree with what you're doing here. This is just embarrassing him, da-da-da." Black lady walks up and was like, "Good for you. Good for you." Clapping her hands like, "Good for you. You could have whooped his ass. You could have been doing this, that, and the other, but good for you." So then those two get into it.
Oh,
the
really?
white lady and the black lady. And basically what it boiled down to was, straight up, black lady said, "Ma'am, you don't know what it's like to be black. You're not black. And very valid point, because we don't get the Kyle Rittenhouse treatment. We don't get the
benefit of the doubt.
Right.
We don't get the benefit of the doubt.
So she applauded the woman for doing that, as it embarrassed the shit out of him. Because truth be told,
stop him now.
I think embarrassment, even though it can scar you mentally, is more effective than corporal punishment.
Yeah, because you're not gonna do it again. You're not gonna do it again because you don't want to suffer those consequences. But you mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse. Since you mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse,
man.
Since you mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse,
well, let's go there, because we were in typical black law fashion, talking about getting your affairs in order before going to prison, which somehow it'll tie back in. Mm-hmm. Trust me. Mm.
So Kyle Rittenhouse,
that bitch,
and I'm sure many of you out there believe that the jury made the wrong call. Well,
let's before you go there, let's talk about this. What were the charges? Do we have to look them up to read them all?
Second degree. What was it? Second degree something homicide. Yeah, you do need to look them up because
count 1, first degree reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. Mm-hmm. Count 2, first degree recklessly endangering safety, use of a dangerous weapon. Mm-hmm. Count 3, first degree recklessly endangering safety, use of a dangerous weapon. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 3 different people. Mm-hmm. Count 4, first degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. Count 5, attempted first degree intentional homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. Count 6, possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18. That's the one
that was tossed out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Count 7, failure to comply with an emergency order from state or local government, which would have been the curfew.
I think that was tossed out too.
So that's it, 7 counts.
Seriously?
Yeah, the very charges that he definitely would have been found guilty of, the judge tossed them out. They were gone even before they went to trial, I think. Or right before they went to trial, the judge nope.
I bet you if he was black, it wouldn't have been like that.
If he was black, he would never have had a trial.
He would have never made it to court.
Correct. He would have been dead if he was black. But, so, Kyle Rittenhouse, everybody looks at this case and we all look at it from a bird's eye view. We saw what happened and it's like
literally a bird's eye view. They had drone footage.
It's like he invited this. He provoked it. He put himself in the middle of something that he should not have been in the middle of. Thereby, he caused X, Y, and Z. But legally, so I'm more than sure I know the answer to this, but gotta ask, do you believe that the jury made the right call?
No, I do not.
Beck?
I do not.
And I don't believe the justice system made the right call either. Because y'all know me, everybody who's listened to this podcast for years and years, everyone in this room knows I'm the gun guy. I'm the gun dude. I know so many different gun laws, some of them so trivial and meaning. I'm the gun dude. And the reason I say that is it's just weird. Like, you can't hold a musket in your left hand in Wisconsin. No, not Wisconsin, in Wyoming.
Okay, so
I don't know why I know that.
So you say no. And I'm actually going to disagree. I'm going to say yes.
Well, and let me finish before you say yes, because what I'm talking about as far as the judicial system not making the right call, that one charge right there, as far as
the gun charge?
Yeah, underage with a firearm. How the fuck
the
can
judge
you
throw it out?
Yeah.
You know why?
The judge says, of course I know because I'm reading it right now, but I'm going to just read this right here. The judge dismissed the charge. Rittenhouse was armed with an AR-style semi-automatic rifle. He was 17 years old on the night of the shootings. Wisconsin law prohibits minors, and most states prohibit minors from possessing firearms except for hunting or when supervised by an adult for target practice. Rittenhouse attorneys argued that another subsection of the law regarding short-barreled rifles provided grounds for dismissing the charge. Prosecutors argued the defense was misreading the statute, and Schroeder had earlier twice declined to dismiss the charge, but the judge also said the statute was confusing. After prosecutors conceded that the rifle was not short-barreled, Schroeder dismissed the charge. The fuck you mean it's confusing? All laws are confusing, purposely confusing.
No, all laws
and it's your job to enforce them.
All laws are purposely vague. Well, let me back up. Not that they're purposely vague, but they are open for interpretation. Thus, we have this adversarial system wherein you argue yes, I argue no, right? But the reason why I say yes is because the jury made a decision based on the law and the evidence as presented. And so the major part, like I was telling everybody from the beginning of this trial that he would be acquitted of all charges, even the gun charge. I said that from the very first. And the reason why is because Dan talked about the justice system. And our system of justice in the United States is not I don't want to say written, but what I want to say, or what I'm trying to get across, is that our system of justice was not developed, let's say that, to put white males in jail. That is not what our system of justice in the United States was ever meant to do. You know, I've said it on this show before, a quote that I heard someone say, and you know, for the longest time I would say the exact same thing. I would say that our system is broken and it needs to be fixed, and it just needs fixing. And then I heard this quote, or correct, by someone, and after they said that, I start, it stopped me in my tracks. It took me aback a little bit, because up until that point I had never thought about it in that manner. And then when I heard that and I started thinking, it made perfect sense, and it does. Our system of justice does exactly what it was designed to do. What our justice system, in its current iteration, it was designed to force poor black men, now it's poor people of color, or people of color, period. It is designed to force them into legal slavery. Because if you think about our system of justice, and like I said, in its current iteration, that did not come about until after Reconstruction.
13th Amendment.
And anybody familiar with Reconstruction, it was a period of growth it was supposed to be a period of growth for people of color. It was supposed to be a way for people of color to jump to the head of the line. But then you had this penal system that came about, and, black men were being sent to prison, and in prison they were put on chain gangs, and these chain gangs did X, Y, and Z, free labor.
Yep.
Free labor. And to this day, like right now on the books, 37, it might be more than 37 now, but at least 37 states allow prisoners to work for private industries. So here you have, it's basically that whole school to prison pipeline, because you need bodies to work and labor for basically free, because they pay prisoners pennies to do work that you would pay someone on the outside hundreds of thousands of dollars for. So as I said, to go back to what I was saying, as far as Kyle Rittenhouse, the deck was stacked against the prosecution from the very beginning. The judge is a racist piece of shit. I mean, he making jokes about Asian people. Go look it up. And Asian food. He said something stupid like, it was lunchtime, and he said, "Well, I hope it's not on the boat," or something like that. I mean, he made
during the trial.
Yes.
Okay. Now, admittedly, I didn't follow the trial because I'm tired. I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Ahmaud Arbery. I'm not following the trial.
Mm-hmm.
So he made some racist comments.
He made several comments that were that should not have been made. One, that had someone else made them, they
would have been canceled.
Right. And it's like, he made these comments. He berates the prosecution. Like I said, he cut the prosecution off at the knees. There was evidence that should have been admitted that he didn't. Excuse me, at the point where you as a judge think it's all right for the defense to call these people who died and were shot rioters and looters. It's okay for the defense to call them that in front of the jury, but the prosecution could not call them victims. It's like, because that was too prejudicial. Everything points to the deck being stacked. On top of that, so we didn't see all the evidence that couldn't be admitted. You never know what piece that should have been admitted that wasn't admitted could have turned the tide. And then the jury instruction. Did y'all read the jury instruction?
Did not follow.
Right. Forgot. But the jury instruction, that to me was the key, because, and I don't know if the prosecution was just incompetent or they just had been beaten down to the point where they realized that no matter what they argued, the judge was going to find a way to lean toward the defense. But as part of the jury instruction, they told the jurors that they could not, don't use your own opinion, which, okay, but what the instruction read was, place yourself in Kyle Rittenhouse's, in the mind of a 17-year-old as you look at this. Like,
wait, the prosecution?
No, this is what the jury instructions, because
okay.
The jury has instructions.
Right, I got you.
So this is as a part of the jury instruction.
So basically, they said, don't use your opinion, but use the opinion that we're giving you.
The opinion of 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. If when you look at this situation from his eyes, if you think what he did, basically, if you think what he did was right, if you think that he felt like he was going to die, that he used the right amount of force, you can't find him guilty. That's basically what it said. And so saying that, the prosecution, there's no way that the prosecution could, no matter what they did, because I'm going to think I'm dying. I think that's what he kept saying. I thought I was going to die. So I had to defend myself. I had to kill them. I used the proper amount of force because they were coming after me. And I had to kill them to save myself.
He was in fear for his life.
Correct.
He placed himself.
But the prosecution couldn't see. That's the thing. That's another key. In a criminal situation, you have to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, what the prosecution failed to prove is that he provoked it. That is how you can overcome this whole I was in fear for my life or whatever. If you provoked it, could not prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did not fear for his life. Could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And that was the key. But that goes back to them being cut off at the knees.
But I can prove that he was a minor in possession of an illegal firearm. I can prove that his mother, who drove him across state lines with that illegal firearm, should have been an accessory. And that is also a federal, talking federal there.
Guess what happened? Those charges were not even heard by the jury. That got kicked out.
Not yet, but like I said, we're talking federal. Once you cross those state lines, we're talking federal.
Do you really
so the DOJ can.
But do you think they will? Do you think they're going
after hearing what our motherfucking weekend at Bernie's ass president, Joe Biden, talking about I respect the jury. Well, I respect the jury's decision, and it proves that our legal system works.
He's right.
I couldn't believe he would say some shit like that.
He's not lying. It works
the way that it's supposed to.
That it was designed to work.
But when we propped you up, black people, because I don't know every single black person, but I know a lot of black people. And our job, as far as the election last year, nobody was excited to vote for Joe Biden. Nope. We were voting against Trump. Mm-hmm. So it's like, for you to have us prop you up to become president, not really because we wanted to, but we just didn't want the other guy, right? And for you to go around talking about what you're going to do to help the advancement of colored people in this country. What else? The whole you're not black if you don't vote for me. Like, motherfuckers be too comfortable. And what has he done for black people so far?
Nothing.
So anyway, for you to get out there and say, yeah, I think I agree. Not I agree, but I respect the jury's decision. And this proves that our judicial system. Shut your old ass up.
No, but did he lie? He didn't lie. So he had respect for what the jury said. He did not lie about that. And the judicial system worked the way that it should. He did not lie about that. As I said, the system did work exactly as it was supposed to work.
Wait, should and designed are two very different things.
No, it's not.
Because it should not have worked the way it did.
It should have worked the way it did. That should and designed is not antagonist. It is synonymous things. Because once again, the judicial system in its current form is designed to put poor people of color, not even poor, people of color in jail cells. It is not designed to put the Kyle Rittenhouses of the world.
He was poor,
but he's white.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly, but the way it should work. Okay, so I'm going back to the initial construct of our judicial system.
The initial construct, as I said, it was designed to put poor black people. Poor black men from jump.
Okay,
it started out.
I'm going back before then, before we were even here. Justice, what's the bitch with the blindfold? Justice supposed to be blind. Ain't that the bitch name? Justice blind bitch, whatever the bitch name is. She be peeking like a motherfucker. But we have all these things in writing and all these different constructs that are supposed to make the judicial system fair. It's on paper. It's on paper. Now, is it in practice? Of course not, because judges are biased. We know that.
Judges are human.
Exactly.
And humans have biases.
Right.
Correct.
And so for you to like just the whole shit is everyone's supposed to have a fair shot. Everyone's supposed to be treated equally and fairly.
No, that's false.
The spirit of our judicial system says otherwise.
We know that also is false.
We know that that's not how it works, but that's how it's supposed to work.
That is not how it's supposed. See, I think that's where you're getting caught up.
I'm not getting caught up.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not.
Because it's not supposed to be blind.
Why the bitch got a blindfold on?
Because
she playing hide and seek?
Exactly. The letter of the law says that all men are created equal.
Mm-hmm. And it also says innocent until proven guilty, which we also know is
wrong.
A myth.
It's false. Correct. So when you say how it should work, it is working as it should.
Well, innocent until proven guilty.
No, guilty until you prove me wrong.
That's how it works. But
that's how it works for people of color.
Right. How it's supposed to work is innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly like
because
that.
If it wasn't supposed to work, why is that in the fucking instruction manual? Why is that? Why is there a diagram that shows?
You don't read instructions. So what you talking about instructions for?
Apparently our court officials don't either.
Exactly right. It ain't about
design. We're gonna agree to disagree because designed and the way it should work, two different things.
Nope.
Just like when I read the back of this right here, this bottle of water, it says if I don't like the water, I can take the
freshness guaranteed.
Yeah, I can take it back to Walmart and get my money back.
No, it doesn't say if you don't like it. It says freshness guaranteed if something is wrong with it.
No. It says right here, return package for replacement or money back.
Give it to me.
You can't touch my water.
Give it to me.
You can't touch my water. You can't touch my water.
You
can't touch my water.
Give it to me. Because you have to read the whole thing.
I just did.
No, you did.
I literally just read the whole thing. Return. Now I'm gonna need you to read it out loud.
Because y'all know I can't. What a fresh.
You can't read.
Part. I can't read.
Return for replacement or your money back. Period.
Where the freshness guaranteed at?
Period.
They must have taken it off here because they used to have this big label that says freshness guaranteed.
That must be that cheap ass Sam's Club water.
Nope.
Period. It just says what it says. Period.
See,
now,
they took it off because there is no context. Why would you just say return the package for replacement or money back?
Exactly.
Why?
It says that. Period.
Why? But why am I gonna return it? Why?
I don't need a reason.
Like I said, there is. This used to say freshness guaranteed.
I don't need. So right now, if I go take 48 empty bottles of water back to Walmart and say I would like a replacement, they're gonna look at me like, if you don't get your ass out of here,
because you drank it all.
But the instructions instruct me to take it back and get a replacement.
You to visit Walmart, and I bet you on that. That's what they have. They must have moved it because it was too long to keep on the bottle, so they moved.
It says or visit. So, but anyway, and we all know other places like that too, where you buy some shit, you try to return it. They got this big refund policy, and then they don't honor the shit, but it's in writing. This is the way it's supposed to go. Like 30-day returns. Christmas time, that's a big thing where they extend the return periods into
and generators.
Yeah. So anyway, it's like you have all this time to do it, so you're like, okay, I'm good. In writing, the policy is, and then when you go to actually enact this policy.
They say,
nah, we can't help you.
That's not how it works.
So that's how the court system is. It's like on paper, this is how it should work. This is how it's designed to work.
We are going to agree to disagree. We will revisit this.
Let the people be the judge.
We have to revisit this topic because we can go on and on and on and on and on.
So
we will have to revisit this.
Man,
topic.
we ain't revisiting shit. This is the last show.
We're gonna revisit this topic.
So, are you saying that you believe Kyle Rittenhouse should have been found not guilty? I'm not asking if you agree with the jury now.
No, I do not. I do not believe that he should have been found not guilty for the very fact that he put himself in harm's way and he put other people in harm's way. Because you think about it. Anybody else get shot at that protest? Anybody else get shot? They had thousands of people out there. The hell?
Put your lips around it.
And then I was like, what the hell?
Come on, you know how those work. Open wide. If you want to keep it stiff, you got open wide.
Really? You going there? Anyway.
Okay.
That's not how I do that.
They had thousands of people out there.
Yeah.
And
people, they're generally not out there to hurt anybody.
Correct. So they had thousands of people. And just like the third person that Rittenhouse shot, I'm sure a lot of them had guns on their person.
And his gun, if I'm not mistaken, was legal.
Yes.
The concealed weapon.
Correct.
Because he had a permit, right?
Correct. So I'm sure that there were many people out there with guns. Nobody else got shot. Nobody else shot anybody except him. So as I said, he put himself in harm's way. So logically, that tells me if you put yourself in harm's way, prepared to be harmed, don't harm anybody else because you placed yourself there, right? But legally is what, when I asked the question, legally is what I was referring to. Legally, all the cards broke in his favor. They all broke in his favor. It's like no telling. And then something else that put it over the top. The two people that died, they couldn't get on the stand and say, this is what happened. What the jury had to believe or what the jury accepted was Kyle Rittenhouse's version of events. And he was on the stand enough and he said enough. And his defense attorneys, I was reading an article this morning about the defense attorney. And the defense attorney, and a lot of people do this, they do mock juries.
Yeah, they did two of them.
Right. So the first time without him on the stand, it didn't break in his favor. But putting him on the stand and letting him testify, the jury was more sympathetic and it broke in his favor. So, I mean, he said there was no doubt that they were going to put him on the stand because, hey, that gave them insight into his mind. And what, so basically, like I said, as far as the jury instructions were concerned, it was set up in such a way, if you believe that he thought that he was in danger and his life was in danger, you have to acquit him. And that's basically what happened.
So these backroom meetings that happen very often during court cases, especially these large, like nationally people interested in televised this, that, and other. Do you think that going into this, the judge already knew what he was going to do to shift this?
I'm more than sure. Oh yeah, no doubt. Like he had it. He had his strategy mapped out too.
Now, that leads me to the next question. what can be done in situations like this? Because I believe, didn't they ask for a mistrial?
The defense asked for a mistrial like 3.
Defense?
The defense.
The prosecutors didn't?
Defense asked for a mistrial like 3 or 4 times.
Didn't they ask for Al Sharpton to leave too?
No, that was Aubrey. That was the Ahmaud Aubrey trial.
Okay, see, like I said, not following. Yeah. But
and that defense asked for a mistrial like 2-3 times too.
What can you do to prevent a judge from throwing a case? Because that's essentially what happened.
Now that's the thing. Judicial discretion is a mother. In that courtroom, the judge is king. He has a lot of leeway. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I thought about that. Like, after reading all the articles and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, what can the prosecution do? And, like, the only thing that the prosecution can do, if they seriously think that the judge did something untoward, the only thing that the prosecution can do is bring charges against him with the bar, for misconduct, and let them decide whether or not the judge did something wrong.
Does that get a new trial?
Honestly, unless you can 100% prove that the judge was like in cahoots with the defense, it's not.
Now I learned
it can get the judge censored, might get him taken off the bench, but
I learned something from my favorite detectives, Sean and Gus. my favorite. Yo, if y'all don't watch Psych, fuck y'all. Psych is like one of the funniest shows ever. We literally watch it Becky, how often do we watch it?
Every day.
Every night. Bedtime,
man, look,
throw on Psych.
Because Psych is one of those. I turned you on to that show, didn't I?
No, we've been watching that since we was inch high to a puppy's ass.
Man, no, I think I turned you on it.
Man.
That and
shit, Monk, Suits, Psych, and Graceland.
I turned you on the Suits too.
Hell no. Man, we TV heads over this motherfucker.
I think I did.
Ain't no goddamn Graceland.
Man, you wasn't watching Suits. I told you about Suits. You wasn't watching Suits from the beginning. I told you about Suits
from the beginning. Season 1, episode 1.
I told you about Suits.
We watched season 1, episode 1.
We watched White Collar season 1 episode. USA was our network of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And
we came to the game. Came kind of late to the game with White Collar. I can tell you that.
You came late to the game. I was on top of the shit. Just like, okay, tell me about Graceland. Tell me the plot of Graceland.
I don't know shit about Graceland
because you're not a USA head.
I don't know. I am. I don't watch. I only watch certain things. I'm not into TV as a rule. I'm a reader. Thank you,
man. So, like I said, learn from my favorite detectives, some psychic detective, Sean Spencer, and his partner, MC. Clap your hands. That if you introduce new evidence, you can get a retrial. Not a retrial. You can try the person for the same thing if you're able to produce new evidence. Fuck you mean? Sean ain't lying. Gus ain't lying.
You ever hear double jeopardy?
Yeah, you can't be charged for the same crime twice. But if we have new evidence, let's charge you with something else. Charge you with something different.
So there you go. That's because what you said initially was you can get a new trial on the same shit if you got new evidence.
No, I clarified after that we can charge you with some new shit.
No, that's after I said no, you can't and introduce the double jeopardy.
It's on tape.
It is on tape. I suggest you roll it back.
Don't need to. Because I clarified because I knew how it sounded when I said
whatever.
it.
Anyway.
So you introduce new evidence and we can bring you up on new charges.
Correct.
So the likeliness of that.
What new evidence?
I don't know. Some new evidence.
What new evidence?
I can't say. It is new. Nobody knows what it is yet. So you saying the DOJ is not going to get involved?
I don't see it. I have been wrong, and then I woke up. But anyway, I don't see it happening.
All right.
Now, what I do see happening though is the 3 people who got shot, the 2
civil suits.
I see that. Because of course the burden of proof is different.
And you could bring up the fact that he was a minor with a gun. So anyway, fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, I think the last one that I want to say, I know I watched the Zimmerman case from beginning to end. I may have watched I did watch the George Floyd. After George Floyd? No, I'm sorry. Last one I watched was Amber Geiger. And Botham, what's his name? Botham Jean. That was the last one I watched from beginning to end because it's the same movie over and over and over and over again. I feel like it's going to be the same with Ahmaud Arbery. But anyway, like I said, it's all going to tie in. So you're going to jail for murdering somebody. I've noticed that in some cases, if you are well off, you're wealthy, they give you time to get your affairs in order before reporting to prison.
Correct.
Now,
hence the very beginning of the first episode of Orange is the New Black. She was she had to go turn herself in to report to jail.
Correct.
And she was given time to get her affairs in order.
Just like the USC bitches, Becky and them, like they did the
once
thing.
Again, why women always gotta be bitches?
Because when you defraud a highly touted educational institutions that people that look like you and I and Becky could have had an opportunity to be accepted to. Yo, fuck Howard too.
What you talk about, the rats in the mold?
Yeah, and like they censoring the school newspaper. Man, fuck Howard, man. But anyway, like I said, the way they did it was husband and wife. Rather than y'all both guilty, they staggered it. They're like, okay, you report, you serve your time.
But you know what? That's good lawyering, is what that is. Cause look, think about this, and something else I want to bring up as well. How many people died as a result of the January 6th riot?
Died on the day or died
as a result? Just
I think 8.
Okay. What's the longest sentence anybody to date has gotten sentenced to?
41 months.
41 months. 41 months. And why is that, you think?
Because the dumb nigga looked like a Viking.
The shaman?
Yeah.
So I mean, just think about that. 41 months. I know people who weren't involved in riotous activity that killed people getting 25 years. Like, nobody died. Right? Nobody died, but they're getting 25 years.
And also the whole 25, or even say 5 years, okay? 5 years for drugs, right? Nonviolent offense. Just like we said earlier, you go in there and you come out a better criminal. But not only that, is you go in there as a nonviolent person, nonviolent offender, you become violent because you have to
protect yourself.
Yeah, that's you right. have to. So, yeah, no, people get sentenced. Like, they all should be, my honest opinion is they all should be hung. Because that shit's fucking treason. And that is the punishment.
Correct.
Or the discipline. That's the discipline for treason.
Correct. And you are 100%.
And another thing I'll say.
But why did they not?
Oh, we know, because they're white. Another thing I'll say, and this is going to sound fucked up, but I don't care because it's the last show, is do you know what I enjoy? And every now and then I go back and watch it over and over. Is the white lady trying to climb through the window and getting shot in the face. Because I believe all of them should have been shot. And they're sitting there in the hallway. I can't believe you just did the fuck. Like, the level of entitlement for you to think that you can storm a U.S. government building, disrupt and overturn a democratic process, and why did you shoot her? Y'all asses should have been shot at the steps. Fuck, you made it this far.
Yeah. And that 100%, let's go back to that. Having said that, if that was a black mob, how many people do you think would have gotten shot?
All of them. They would have had all kinds of military force out there.
And speaking, and this the other thing that gets me too, see, is when we do things, right? Black people, when we do things, I said earlier, I think this was before recording, I encourage the burning. I encourage the mayhem and the madness, right? But let's be real. How many of us actually show up prepared for shit like that? And when I say prepared, we might come with a lighter. We might come with some. These motherfuckers had zip ties, gas masks,
bear mace.
Like
they were in there literally going there to kill people. They wanted to take Congress hostage. They were going there to be violent
and hang Mike Pence.
Correct. That was their sole purpose. When we protest, when we march, when we do these things for justice's sake, we are literally not going there to kill or maim anybody. We just want to be heard. And we can't be heard unless things get violent.
Or we're asking people to be set free.
Correct.
So free somebody, not kill him.
But once again, our system is working just fine. It is working exactly as it was designed to do.
Man, like I said, in a previous episode, you said we need to continue to rebuild the new system. And I said, tear that shit down all together, get rid of it, start over, start from scratch. But here nor there. So going back to getting locked up, you commit a crime, all your shit is gone, point blank, period, unless you have somebody to look after your affairs, unless you have money in the bank. And actually this entire episode has, truth be told, been about the economically disadvantaged. So there's nothing you can do. And then you find out that the charges are false. Sure, you can sue the person who, like in the situation I gave, you can sue them for, but they ain't got shit. So you ain't gonna get shit, and you still lose everything.
Correct. That is 100% correct. Unless you can prove in some way, shape, or form that the sheriff, who you said was her dad, right? That he was actually involved in the false arrest and false imprisonment, that he knew it was false and he did it anyway. Because if you can prove that, that's basically malfeasance. Right. That's basically him utilizing the power that he was given incorrectly. So if you can prove that he was involved in that, then you could sue him. You can sue the parish. I'm sorry, it'll be the county for y'all. So
in his case, he was hands off because everyone just knew who his daughter was. So get your affairs in order.
Right.
If you are going for RICO, if you know RICO, most people are, I guess, smart enough to go ahead and start putting their shit in their mama name.
Yeah, but guess what happens in that case? I mean, the government ain't stupid. They know that play, son. They've known that play from way back. They literally trace everything and everybody. So like your mama got a house and they start trying to figure out where the money for that house came from. And if your mama can't show like where that money came from and make it look good, like she ain't got no mortgage and she ain't had no money stashed away, like where the money came from. Your mama house get taken, your mama car get taken, and your girlfriend car could get taken. Like anything that they can literally trace to you. Yeah.
So what would your, I guess, last words, what would your advice be to somebody who is facing a possible
have a bug out bag. I mean,
lengthy prison sentence.
Like I'm saying, you making money. If you're making money illegally, right? Don't just live for the day. Don't just piss your money away. If you're making not that I'm condoning illegal activity, but I'm saying if you won't be Capone, I mean, be smart. Do what Jay-Z did. He made the money illegally and he turned it to something legal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people did that. Talking about Cash Money. You know, them boys did that. I'm talking about No Limit.
Right, but we're talking about people that's looking at being sentenced.
But see, so what I'm saying is I gave those examples. Those were examples of people
to that point.
Those were examples of people who literally started out illegally and used that money to turn that into a legal enterprise. But like bug out before, but use your money judiciously. Make that money work for you, not against you. And if you're doing something that is illegal, like I say, squirrel some money away. Have some money somewhere that nobody can touch other than somebody that you trust, that if something happens to you, you know what I'm saying? Have a plan.
Bitcoin.
We always talk about plan. Have a plan. Put a plan in case for this eventuality. Because as quiet as it's kept, some go happen to you eventually if you don't get out of the game. If you're in it, eventually you're going to get caught or you're going to die.
And for the one-offs, as far as I just got mad today and shot somebody, before turning yourself in, get your
affairs
shit
in
order.
Correct.
Or else you're going to lose everything.
Correct.
So that being said, last episode, and I would like to take a moment, share some words.
No, is this Dan's monologue?
No, I don't even need a monologue. The first word I would like to share is going back to Becky and Ann talking about some choose your friends better. You didn't know he was going to punch you in the eye until he punched you in the eye. So sometimes people could be Ted Bundy.
No, let me tell you something.
Charming.
Everybody got to tell. Let me tell you.
Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy had a tell.
Charming motherfucker.
No.
Charming.
No. Let me tell you. See, I always, going back to the birds of a feather, and I can tell who you are by the company that you keep situation. What I do before I get involved romantically with anybody,
don't even have to do a background check.
No, not. You know what? This day and age, you can literally do a background check in the press of a button. You can tell anything about anybody. All you gotta do is pay $9.99.
Do you think that's crossing the line?
Hell no.
Do you think 20 years ago that would have been crossing the line?
Hell no. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because 20 years ago today, people have a lot to lose. And what I don't want to get caught up in is a cycle of a psychopath. I don't want to have to swear out restraining orders that mean shit to somebody who is psycho. So you can tell a lot about a person. Because if he's done it to you or if she's done it to you, chances are they've done it before. You can get criminal records for people and look to see what the hell they've done. Somebody who's stolen money, they might be trying to steal yours. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who has like multiple restraining orders and domestic violence, don't think you go change that person.
But still leaves the door open for you didn't know until it happened.
The sociopaths like you.
I mean, even there's a first time for everything. So, like
you think I've never punched anybody in the face.
There's a first
that didn't actually.
There's
in Dan's example, I got mad at my coworker for parking in my spot. It's the first time I killed somebody. You know,
first time for everything. And see, had they known I was going to kill them,
they'd have got there faster. They wouldn't have parked in my spot.
Right, exactly. So I'm just going to say that, yeah, there are tells. Sometimes other people can see things in people that you may not be able to see.
And if the parents, case in point, personal story. My cousin was involved with somebody, and I literally told the chick, he's a woman beater. Every person that he's been involved with, he has hit on them. Violence has been involved with every last one. Literally told the chick that if somebody in their family tells you some stuff and you can verify that with somebody else, people who actually know, believe them. If the boy or the girl mama tell you they no good, believe that shit. Because guess what happened? Didn't believe me, but guess what happened to her?
Same thing that happened to the rest of them.
Correct. And why that is, like I said, he can't be good for you until he's good for himself, until he fixes himself.
And some of it is just naivety, however you say that word.
Naivete? No, it's not. It's stupidity.
No, some people who live very sheltered lives that have never been exposed to any type of domestic violence, signs of domestic violence, signs of abuse, manipulation. There's lots of people who are completely sheltered, and that's how they end up with these people.
I get that, but if you have 2 and 3 people telling you the same shit.
Right, I'm not talking about that.
How naive can you be?
I'm not talking about. I'm just saying in general, a lot of it is naivety, and naivete. All three of them. All three. So, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share a word from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all so much for listening over the years. Thank y'all so much for the feedback. I thank y'all for other shit too. I don't know. I just be thanking people for shit and don't really be meaning it half the time. So
wow, really?
Yeah, I say I'm sorry a lot.
Because this is the last show, I'm going to just tell you how I really feel.
How I really feel.
Because I ain't thanking none of y'all for shit because y'all ain't did nothing for me type situation.
Pretty much. That's
what it is.
Pretty much. I say I'm sorry a lot and I say thank you a lot and never really mean either one.
And never mean it. And I know that to be a fact.
But again, thank you for all the listens, all the support over the years. Truly appreciate it. Glad y'all enjoyed something that we kind of slapped together at first and became a bigger production. And it was fun. It was real. Peace.
Beck, you want to say something?
Well, I just want to reiterate Dan's appreciation and gratitude to our fans and followers and listeners. I also would like to personally thank you guys for sticking with me through my name changes. At first I came out with Anonymous, and now I am Afro Becky, and y'all, stuck with me. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
And y'all stuck with her through her addiction.
Oh, Jesus. And your addiction.
I got an addiction.
You got all kinds of things. Okay. Yeah, and I just want to say thank you for allowing us to educate and entertain. I think I said that earlier.
In your ear holes.
But truly, it's been a pleasure. It's been a wild ride. It's been fun. We actually had a lot of fun doing this show, surprisingly. And I think that's a product of our dynamic. Because if I say black, he'll say white. I say up, he'll say down. And it does not matter if I am right to him, I'm always wrong, and vice versa. So,
come on, son.
It's true. It's been fun, actually, allowing y'all to see who we are and just letting us see who y'all are too, because y'all did through commenting and y'all helped make us better because y'all told us what y'all wanted. more of. And
some of them some weirdos too, because you remember all them emails we would get from people in prison thinking you about to come and help them, and it's like, nigga, you can't listen to podcasts in prison, I don't think, but we got letters from people in Mississippi Department of Correction, like quite a few of them. Right. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think we are?
Yes. But it has definitely been fun. It's been eye-opening. You know, the very fact that you trust, you know, that y'all trusted us enough to listen and think that we were actually telling the truth, which, like I said, I always did, or my version thereof. Your boy, you got something totally different. I know Beck, she definitely, because, you know, she's smart. So she definitely was telling the truth. But yeah.
Truth.
Thanks for letting us ramble in your ear.
And lastly, shout out to the very few guests that have graced the show, because we're not a guest-based show, never have been. Because honestly, we don't want to talk to y'all motherfuckers. So the handful of guests, y'all know who y'all all are. Shout out to y'all too for also being a part of this journey, this ride. And I will still be on Instagram, and I might even start another podcast about the behind the scenes of this podcast. So be looking for that.
Jesus.
Peace out, people.